I want to call to order the Amberley Village Council meeting of September 13th, 2021. Please call the roll.
Alita Kamine.
Here.
Tom Muthing.
Here.
Ray Warren.
Here.
Natalie Wolf.
Here.
Scott Larmer. Here. Andy Kakey. Here. Lieutenant Bloom. Here. Rick Kay.
And if everyone could please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everyone to the council meeting. We've had a number of council members are absent this evening, but we do have a quorum so that we can go ahead, and we have a relative, so that should not be any problem. First item on the agenda is our minutes from our last meeting. Those were circulated in advance. Are there any changes to those minutes? And you know, this is a unique situation. I can look one direction. Seeing no changes, we can consider the minutes approved. Next item is our manager's report as far as the finance.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to address the finance report for July 2021. Included in your packet is the UAN report and also a memo that summarizes the finances for the month of July. The earnings tax collections for the month of July total about $185,000. This brings us to a year-to-date amount of $2.2 million. Our estimate for 2021 is to collect $3 million. So we collected about 73% of our estimate so far this year. The village did receive $455,000 in property tax in the month of July. We also booked $7,200 in local government fund dollars. The total revenue for the month of July stands at $685,000, and that brings us to a total right now of collections overall of just a little over $4 million. So we've collected 79% of what we had estimated, which is $5.1 million for the year. On the expense side of the equation, we've expenses last month, $395,000. We have spent so far this year a little over $3 million, which represents about 53% of our budget of $5.7 million. We concluded the month of July with an unencumbered general fund balance of $6.5 million. And that concludes my report.
Are there any questions for the manager?
Scott, seems like the earnings tax revenue this year is running ahead. Is that true?
The earnings tax,
is that correct?
That was your question? Yeah, the earnings tax is doing well. It is difficult to compare it because the past 2 years we've had different tax due dates. But as the Finance Committee has reviewed the earnings tax on its quarterly basis, it is doing well, and we are ahead of where we had anticipated to be. So we do expect to reach the $3 million and then some additional money.
So can you attribute anything? I mean, are businesses hiring more people, or any idea about any sense of what's going on in the community?
I would say it's a variety of aspects here. First of all, our businesses are doing well. Our businesses suffer from the same thing a lot of other businesses do. They cannot find enough employees. But they are continuing to keep their employees engaged. The other part of that is that the businesses is strong. So this is a great time for businesses, at least here in the village. They have been doing well. There is a transition that is going to be coming for one of our businesses, but for the most part, all of our businesses are doing well. I think the other part of it, Mr. Warren, is that the residents in the village are employed as well. So we do not, the demographics here are a little different in terms of our residents. So our residents have done well and continue to be employed during the pandemic, and that, I think, makes the difference as well. But overall, we're doing a good job of collecting the earnings tax.
Any other questions for the manager? Okay, that'll conclude the finance report, but you can stay up there because the next item is the manager's report.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mayor. The next item on the agenda is Resolution 2021-26, requesting the Hamilton County Auditor to place a lien against property. You've seen this before, but this is another property where the village had to step in and do contractual work to take care of the property. And so this is our means of collecting the money to bring it back to the village. So we expended dollars in order to have this property taken care of. And so now we're asking the county auditor to go ahead and put it on the property tax so that we can receive that. We'll receive that either next year or the following year. So Resolution 2021-26 is ready for a motion
28.
to approve. I'm sorry?
28.
28? Okay, thank you.
So do I hear a motion?
So moved. Okay, I move that we adopt Resolution 2021-28, placing a lien against the property.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that we adopt Resolution 2021-28, requesting or basically giving the village manager the authority to request the Hamilton County Auditor to place a lien against the property noted. Questions?
I noticed that this is the same property that we passed a resolution placing a lien last month.
Correct.
And is this a new lien, or is this every month we're going to be continuing to be mowing the grass?
It is a new lien, so the action you're taking this evening is a new amount that we need to collect. It is going to be ongoing. The property owner is not able to take care of her property. So this is the process we'll have to go through. And we have been in contact with the property, but they are unable to care for it.
Has anyone suggested to them that they might save a little money by hiring a service rather than the village?
Yes, we've had numerous conversations with the property owner. It's a very unfortunate situation. So the property owner has somebody looking out for them, and their hands are tied as well in order to expend money to get the property properly taken care of.
Sorry to hear that.
Just general question about placing a lien. So when we place a lien on this property or other properties because of inadequate maintenance, things like that, does this lien go on their property tax assessment? And can they choose not to pay it, so this way it just continues, or what's the process?
So when we take action with this particular resolution, it goes to the county auditor, and they place it on the property tax. So we will collect our money. The question is, when will we receive that money? But it will be collected as part of property taxes. If it is not collected, it falls into delinquency, which will eventually be collected because the property would be transacted in a delinquent manner.
And so the resident can't designate where his money goes on. Let's say he chooses to pay his property tax, but not this.
They're forced to pay all of it, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? If not, it has been moved and seconded that we adopt Resolution 2021-28. All in favor? Aye. Be it noted that that resolution passes unanimously.
Thank you, Mayor. I think I had 4 items I wanted to bring to council's attention this evening. Just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the staff and to the council and to the donors and the volunteers for the ice cream social. I think most of you were present at that, and it was just a huge success. We gave out over 1,200 servings of ice cream, so it was well received, I think, by the residents. But just an awesome job by the donors as well as the staff, and the volunteers, a lot of you had volunteered for it, so very appreciative of that event. And the second attaboy I want to give out is to the maintenance department. The maintenance department constructed the kiosk, the trailhead kiosk at Amberley Green. If you've had an opportunity to see that, it is quite impressive. I just want to point out that the maintenance department designed that, and then they built it. So it was built from just a quick drawing on paper, and they made it happen. And I think it reflects well on the village, and we've gotten a lot of good comments. All that was part of the effort to communicate the new rules at Amberley Green as it relates to dogs. The third item I want to point out is our print newsletter is going to be arriving in residents' mailbox probably mid to late next week. Just encourage residents to be on the lookout for that. There's some great articles in there that residents will find of interest. And the last time I wanted to talk about is the passing of former police officer, firefighter, Keith Sowder. So Keith was employed here in the village from 2007 until he separated in 2013. He was a police officer and firefighter, and ran into some medical issues and was ultimately diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. But he was very young at 41. He passed away last week. I placed the obituary on your dais just so that you have more information on that, because it was not available when the manager's report came out last week. But certainly we're thinking about Keith. We have been assisting the family with a variety of things as it relates to the service, as well as some needs at their home. But certainly we just ask you to keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And that concludes my report.
Are there any questions for the manager? Okay. We'll now move on to the mayor's report, and following on from what was just said, in the past month also 2 former mayors of Amberley Village passed away. Mayor Marion Pressman and Bob Stewart, who were mayors from 1997 until I think 2003 or 4. Both passed away. So express their condolences to their families. A couple other things I want to mention. Jim Ruley and Ben Hunt asked me to pass on this related to Yoga on the Lawn. Yoga on the Lawn has completed for this year. It was co-sponsored this year by the JCC and Amberley Village Health and Wellness Committee. The JCC paid for the yoga instructor, who was Amanda Weiss, an Amberley resident, to hold these sessions on Thursday evenings in May through August. The Health and Wellness Committee provided the advertising and promotion, and 3 committee members basically greeted the participants as they joined. Sessions were generally well attended, and it was fun, and it was a fun activity. The committee is now discussing other possible recreational opportunities in the future, so keep an eye out for that. The next thing I wanted to mention was the one-stop drop, which is scheduled for September 26th. It's Sunday, September 26th. It will be from noon till 3. The one-stop drop again this year will have all the same things we've had in recent years. There will be safe paper shredding, there will be electronics recycling, and Goodwill will also be there for the event. The next Environmental Stewardship Committee will be September 27th at 7 o'clock in the community room. And the Environmental Stewardship Committee also just had an activity yesterday in French Park. I know this was an item of curiosity at previous council meetings. It was forced bathing, and it was again well attended. They had 2 sessions. The first, they were limited to a dozen people at each of those, and I think the first one was fully subscribed, and the second one had 9 or 10. So, well done. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is that due to the fact that we're going to be having 3 of our council members completing their terms, unlike in prior years when we did the manager's evaluation in December, we are going to be looking to complete the evaluation in November. The manager will be completing his self-evaluation by the 1st of November. And then, so at the November council meeting, we will start the process. If we are unable to complete the process at the regularly scheduled November council meeting, we may need to call a special session to complete that evaluation. And that concludes my mayor's report. Are there any questions? Is there any new business?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's new business, but I would just like to wish everyone, Jewish or not Jewish, a Shana Tova, have a happy and sweet New Year and healthy New Year, and many years healthy going forward. Let's all hope.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. That's definitely something I missed out on, so thank you. Any other new business? If not, we can consider the meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.